A new study answers the question that we all want to know the answer to. Ivermectin. Does ivermectin help with COVID-19? Now, I know some people have already made their minds up, regardless of the information. Well, don't worry. We now have an actual, real, peer-reviewed study, not one of these flimsy, dumb studies where the information's bunk or whatever the hell else. This is an actual, real study with a definitive answer. Let's get to it. This was released exclusively to the Wall Street Journal for now, and then the study is going to be, out there in the public. But here you have, and to be clear, Wall Street Journal, a conservative outlet. Ivermectin didn't reduce COVID-19 hospitalizations in largest trial to date. Patients who got the anti-parasitic drug didn't fare better than those who received a placebo. Now, I know some skeptics right now are saying, well, maybe it didn't reduce hospitalizations, but what about, just general benefits? We'll get there. Hold your horses. So I'm going to read through a bit of this as that's the only way to really get this information out. So let's start with this next. Maybe I need some ivermectin. With this next paragraph here. Quote, there was no indication that ivermectin is clinically useful, said Edward Mills, one of the study's lead researchers and a professor of health sciences at Canada's McMaster University in Hamilton. Dr. Mills on Friday plans to present the findings, which have been accepted for publication in a major peer-reviewed medical journal and a public forum sponsored by the National Institutes of Health. So it's been accepted for publication in a major peer-reviewed medical journal. This is a real study, a large study of about, 1,400 people. We'll get to the details here, right now. Here you go. Dr. Mills and his colleagues looked at 1,358 adults who visited one of 12 clinics in the Minas Gerais, I think I said that right because I looked it up beforehand, region of Brazil with COVID-19 symptoms. The patients all had a positive rapid test for SARS-CoV-2 and were at risk of having a severe case for reasons including a history of diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, or lung disease. The researchers prescribed half of the patients a course of ivermectin pills for 3 days. The other half received a placebo. They tracked whether the patients were hospitalized within 28 days. The researchers also looked at whether patients on ivermectin cleared the virus from their bodies faster than those who received a placebo, whether their symptoms resolved sooner, whether they were in the hospital or on ventilators for less time, and whether there was any difference in the death rates for the two groups. To make sure they were being thorough, the researchers analyzed the data in 3 different ways. They looked at data from all patients, then analyzed data from patients who received ivermectin or a placebo 24 hours before they were hospitalized, and in a third review, looked at data from patients who said they had adhered strictly to their dosing schedule. In each scenario, they found ivermectin didn't improve patient outcomes. So, in every scenario, ivermectin not beneficial for COVID-19. Now, are there some potential benefits here for ivermectin if you have COVID-19? Well, maybe if you're fighting off a parasitic disease at the same time. So Dr. Mills said ivermectin could improve outcomes in COVID-19 patients who are fighting off certain parasitic diseases at the same time. But based on his team's findings, he said the drug doesn't seem to have any effect on COVID-19 itself. There you go. So if you happen to have a parasitic disease, which is what ivermectin is used for generally at the same time of having COVID-19, then it may benefit you because it'll help with, at least one of your problems, which may help you fight off COVID-19 better if you solve the parasitic disease issue. But otherwise, it does not have any effect on COVID-19 itself. There you go. That's it. Now, will there be more studies for some reason? Maybe there will be. And you're very likely going to have the same result because this was a very wide-ranging study. You can read through the article below. I'll link to it below the video on YouTube. Again, that is a conservative publication coming out saying ivermectin, not beneficial. And I have to say, I don't even understand why people needed to want this to work. Like if you're, it's one thing to say, oh, these drug companies, they all want to gouge you for, for money. Okay, then are you swearing off all drugs? No. Then what's wrong with the vaccine? What's wrong with the other? There's now new drugs coming out that can help treat COVID-19 after the fact in pill form, ones that are actually designed to fight COVID-19. So, like, what's the problem here? Why is there this? I never understood why there was this desire for ivermectin specifically to be effective in this case when you could just get vaccinated to help you with the potential impact of COVID-19. I never really understood. Maybe part of it was the fact that Joe Rogan was throwing it out there as one of the many things he took, including, the antibodies treatment that likely did help him in his recovery from COVID-19. But, ivermectin didn't. There you go. Here's your answer. Ivermectin, not for COVID-19.